At the top of the foreign policy agenda for Israel's new Prime Minister Naftali Bennett is winning over the Joe Biden administration. But the challenge will be for him to do that without alienating his right-wing base. He will have help, though, in the form of his foreign minister Yair Lapid and Israel's incoming president Isaac Herzog. Ben Caspit writes that the most urgent task facing them is to mobilize the administration's support for their government's survival. Iran is only days away from electing new president. Our correspondent in Tehran breaks down the foreign policy plan of frontrunner Ibrahim Raisi, a 60-year-old cleric and hardline judiciary chief. Bijan Khajipour explains that Raisi has focused on domestic issues like banking reform and job creation, but during a debate this week, Raisi said that if elected, he would abide by the nuclear deal. Fresh off the heels of brokering a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, Egypt has called off a highly anticipated summit between the Gaza-based militant group and its rival Fatah. Adnan Abu Amr writes that it was probably a face-saving measure because Egypt wasn't able to find common ground between the competing Palestinian movements. But Amr writes that Egypt isn't washing its hands just yet of the Palestinian file. After recent visits by Saudi officials to Damascus, there is growing speculation that Saudi Arabia could become the latest Gulf state to re-establish ties with Syria. Samuel Ramani writes that if this normalization does happen, it won't be quick. Syria still mistrusts Saudi Arabia for backing the opposition that tried to topple President Bashar al-Assad. In Syria, Abu Mohammed al-Golani and his Hayat Tahrir al-Sham group are going through a rebrand. HTS controls Syria's northwestern Idlib province. In a new sit-down interview, Khalid al-Khatib writes that Golani is sporting a fashionable haircut and blue suit in an attempt at billing HTS as a mainstream nationalist opposition group fighting the Syrian government. But Golani is still designated as a terrorist by the United States. Finally, our hot take this week focuses on how the Erdogan-Biden summit reflects a new normal in US-Turkey ties. Read all of this and more at our website.